Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here. Welcome to the Final Cut. Got an independent comedy for you on the chopping block today. It's called The Love Song of William Shaw. Yes, The Love Song of William Shaw is brought to us by Cliff Campbell and Marty Kitola, and we get the story of William Shaw, who's celebrating 2 years of sobriety. Unfortunately, his best friends aren't there. Why? Because there's a rift between his two friends, John and Pete. You see, the three of them got together and wrote a screenplay based off of a comic that William Shaw created that took off, his Friend Z comic. They wrote a screenplay, and then there was another screenplay written, but due to the choices made by those two friends, it caused a rift between them. And now with William Shaw being haunted once again by visions of his creation, he realizes he needs to heal that rift between his two friends so they can all come together and collaborate on a project that will bring Friend Z back to her creators. Yeah, this is like Clerks for comic book geeks. And I know Clerks has some comic references as well, but this is definitely set in the world of comic book lovers. And that's not just because Pete and John both run their comic book stores, though those make for some hilarious situations. If you've ever been in a comic book store, you've probably met some of the people that you run in that were shown in the store scenes that we get. So, it's a realistic portrayal, a little bit exaggerated for comedy, which hits quite a bit in here. Not everything in here is like ba-dum-bum joke punchline, but there are a lot of exaggerated and interesting characters that add to the comedy that I think will have you smiling, especially if you've been to like a comic book convention or comic book store. So you can tell they're really talking to some familiar territory that they are working with here. So, the characters that we have here being played, Billy Shaw is played wonderfully by Bradford Trojan. I loved this character quite a bit. This guy is a kind of a no-nonsense guy who is not afraid to speak his mind. He's got a heart, even though he's a bit cynical, and he really shows those emotions later on in the film for his friends and his frustration with this rift that these guys just can't get over. Where also you see the frustration is with Pete and John's wife. Actually, Billy Shaw as well, his wife. Those three get together. I loved the scenes with them. We've got Sarah Jackson playing Jen, who is John's wife. We've got Mona, who's played by Christina Pfluger, and she is Pete's wife. And then Billy Shaw's wife is played by Olivia Blake, who we've seen in Die Die Delta Pi. And these three, I love the scenes with these three together. A great chemistry, great trade-off in the dialogue. You feel their frustration of they're just like, why can't these guys just get past this, this speed bump and get back to being friends again? And they have some wonderful, fun conversations. Pete is played by Nathan Campbell, and John is played by Eric Schumacher. And you really feel that rift between these two. You feel that they just can't let their egos and their frustration go for the events that happen and move on. Though deep down inside, you can also see that they do still kind of care for each other and still would love to be friends again, but man, they just can't get over that decision. So, and it's interesting on what finally brings them together, which is actually related to the title. And now, shout out to Rachel Atherton playing the Friend Z in a live action version of the character, who's, Billy Shaw has seen. Loved her performance in here. She doesn't really get any dialogue, but she does pantomiming and other methods to convey the emotions, as well as tell Billy Shaw what he should be doing as he follows the reluctancy of his hallucination. The other characters in here all do well. I guess it's actually based off of a series involving all of these characters. I have not seen the other installments, but you don't have to follow what's going on. They write this well enough so that it is a self-contained story, but I'm sure if you've seen the other projects that they had involving these same characters, it probably would give you a little bit more solid background, but you don't need to. It's still highly entertaining. I really liked how everything came together. It has a lot of heart and spirit. It is a bit talky. There aren't a lot of special effects or anything involved in this, but what you do get is some very entertaining cinema if you like independent comedies. So I would say check it out. If you're a Clerks fan at all, if you're a comic book fan at all, I think there's some entertainment to be had with The Love Song of William Shaw. So thank you very much for listening to me ramble. Please, if you have seen this, love to hear your constructive thoughts on this movie. Like, subscribe, and all that bells and whistles here onto YouTube. Help us to get to 3K or more subscribers before the end of 2024. You can only do that with your help. I appreciate it, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub